Welcome to tonight's top news stories from around the world. You are watching Millennium News Hour and I am Tanziba Noreen. Let's get started with the headlines making waves right now. US President Trump sets 90-day pause on tariffs, boosts China rate to 125%. Trump officials announce social media monitoring for anti-Semitism in immigration process. Judge orders White House to restore AP's access to presidential events. Dan Driscoll appointed acting ATF director replaces Kash Patel. Michelle Obama discusses divorce rumors and the power of self-choice. LeBron James makes history as first athlete to have a Ken doll. Governor Hochul announces 14 landmarks lit blue to raise awareness for child abuse prevention. China raises tariffs on US goods to 84% amid global trade tensions. Prince Harry faces UK government in court over security rights. Body of Italian biologist Alessandro Cotti found in suitcase in Colombia. Brazil women beat USA for first time in over a decade. And Yannick Sinner set to return as world number one after Zverev's loss. You were listening to Headlines Now News in detail. President Trump has announced a 90-day pause on most new tariffs starting immediately. He confirmed that the universal tariff rate for nearly all countries will stay at 10% during this period. However, he sharply increased tariffs on Chinese imports to 125%, citing China's lack of respect for global markets. This decision was posted on Truth Social. Trump also said that more than 75 countries had contacted US officials to start trade talks. Because these countries did not retaliate, he approved the 90-day pause and lowered reciprocal tariffs for them. The White House said the 10% tariff applies to Canada, Mexico, and other countries except China. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent expects more nations to join the talks. He added that Trump wants to stay personally involved. The U.S. stock market rose right after Trump made the announcement. The higher China tariffs and lower global tariffs officially went into effect. It is still unclear what will happen after the 90-day pause ends, but talks will continue with the Trump administration during this time. The U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services announced it will begin monitoring immigrants' social media for anti-Semitism. This includes considering anti-Semitic activity or harassment as grounds for denying immigration benefits. The new guidelines apply to individuals seeking permanent resident status, international students, and those affiliated with institutions linked to anti-Semitism. Tricia McLaughlin, Assistant Secretary for Public Affairs at the Department of Homeland Security, emphasized that there is no obligation to admit individuals who support anti-Semitic violence or terrorism. This decision is part of the Trump administration's wider crackdown on protests against the Israel-Gaza conflict. Advocacy groups and progressive Jewish organizations have criticized the move. The Nexus Project and Bend the Arc argued that the new policy falsely links anti-Semitism with immigration restrictions and could suppress free speech. They stated that this approach does not effectively address anti-Semitism but instead advances an anti-immigration agenda. Since January, federal authorities have detained and revoked visas of several international students, including green card holders, accusing them of supporting anti-war protests or terrorist groups. A U.S. federal judge ordered the White House to restore the Associated Press's access to President Donald Trump's official events. The decision came after the AP was denied access to the Oval Office and Air Force One since mid-February. This ban followed the AP's refusal to refer to the Gulf of Mexico as the Gulf of America as requested by Trump. District Judge Trevor McFadden ruled that denying the AP access based on its viewpoints violated the First Amendment of the U.S. Constitution. He instructed the White House to immediately rescind the denial of the AP's access to the Oval Office, Air Force One, and other areas when open to other members of the White House press pool. This ruling affirmed the importance of press freedom, ensuring that media outlets cannot be excluded based on their editorial positions or perspectives. Army Secretary Dan Driscoll replaced Kash Patel as the acting head of the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms and Explosives. Driscoll, who will continue serving as Army Secretary, assumes the new role while Patel had been leading the agency since February. Patel had been appointed after Mervyn Richardson's term as acting ATF director ended. Driscoll's additional responsibility at the ATF, which employs over 5,200 people and manages a $1.6 billion budget, comes at a time when the agency plays a significant role in investigating gun crimes. His appointment to the Army Secretary position was confirmed in February with a Senate vote of 66-28. Driscoll's background includes 4 years of military service, including a deployment to Iraq. He later earned a law degree from Yale University and worked in private equity and venture capital. He is a close friend and former advisor to Vice President J.D. Vance. The Justice Department and ATF recently repealed a controversial Biden-era gun policy, ending a zero-tolerance approach targeting gun dealers who sold weapons without background checks. An in-depth review of other gun policies is expected in the coming months. We will be back after a short break. Till then, stay with us. This world continuously revolving around various events. Every minute, every second, something is happening somewhere around the globe, and you want to get connected to that event or to that specific moment. Here we come, Millennium News Hour, to get you connected with top USA and international trending news, which includes local news, political news, world news, business news, health and science-related news, entertainment news, sports news, and so on. Millennium News 24 is transmitted and available to be watched free for OLED TVs such as Sony, Samsung, LG, Roku TV, Amazon TV and Apple TV, and also in all European countries and Australia available with Sky Network, Worldwide Jago TV, Radiant IPTV, Worldwide Jago BD Network and Horizon Satellite globally. Stay connected with Millennium News Hour to get the world news on your feed. Michelle Obama recently opened up about her personal life, addressing the growing rumors about her marriage and emphasizing the importance of making her own decisions. In a podcast, Obama shared now she has been reflecting on how she wants to spend her time, even as people speculate about her relationship. Obama told podcast host Sophia Bush that women often face pressure to meet others' expectations and she was determined to make choices for herself. She laughed off the divorce rumors, stating that people couldn't understand her simply making decisions for her own happiness. Looking ahead, Obama mentioned she wanted to focus on personal freedom, asking herself questions like who she wants to spend time with and how she wants to live her life. She also noted that she continues to work on projects and deliver speeches but is more selective about the opportunities she accepts. With her future in mind, Obama said it's time for her to own her life decisions. Barbie has announced that LeBron James is the first athlete to have a Ken doll. Mattel, the company behind Barbie, released images of the new doll based on the NBA legend, activist, author, and philanthropist LeBron James. Mattel shared that they collaborated with the LeBron James Family Foundation to create the first Ken doll of a professional athlete. The company said they are excited to expand the Ken ambassadors with this release, especially as Ken's character celebrates its 65th anniversary next year. Krista Berger, Senior VP of Barbie and Global Head of Dolls at Mattel, expressed excitement about presenting a new version of Ken, one that honors James as a role model, cultural icon, and someone who encourages the next generation to reach their full potential. James shared that as a child, he was inspired by role models who showed him the importance of hard work. He felt honored by the release of his Ken doll. The doll, designed to match James' style, will be 1 inch taller than a regular Ken doll. It will be sold for $75 starting April 14th at 12:01 p.m. Governor Kathy Hochul announced that 14 state landmarks were illuminated to raise awareness for Child Abuse Prevention Month and National Crime Victims' Rights Week. The event aimed to highlight the state's efforts to protect children and families. Governor Hochul had already declared April as Child Abuse Prevention Month in New York State. Governor Hochul emphasized that ensuring the safety and well-being of all New Yorkers, especially children, was her top priority. She remains committed to supporting survivors, families, and law enforcement in preventing child abuse. This year's theme, Supporting Child and Family Well-being, focuses on tools such as family opportunity centers and family resource centers that strengthen families and prevent abuse. The Office of Children and Family Services is actively supporting evidence-based initiatives to protect children. As part of the campaign, landmarks like One World Trade Center, Niagara Falls, and the Empire State Plaza were lit up. Additionally, Governor Hochul has proposed a $9.2 million increase in funding for child advocacy centers in the 2025-2026 executive budget. The state continues to support initiatives such as the OCFS Here's Helpline, offering resources to families in need. Now it's time for global updates. China announced it would raise its tariffs on U.S. products to 84%, up from the previously planned 34%, in response to President Trump's tariffs on Chinese goods, which took effect at 104%. Trump had imposed broad tariffs on imports from almost all nations, but later paused most new taxes for 90 days and reduced the reciprocal tariff to 10%. In retaliation, Trump also increased tariffs on Chinese imports to 125%, calling China's actions disrespectful to global markets. China, however, condemned Trump's decision, labeling it as a mistake and accusing the U.S. of unilateralism, protectionism, and economic bullying. China has added 11 U.S. companies to its unreliable entities list, blocking Chinese sales of dual-use goods to them. Despite this, China remains firm, urging the U.S. to engage in equal and respectful negotiations. China now controls around 35% of the world's manufacturing, and its exports to developing countries have grown. The U.S. exported $145 billion in goods to China in 2023. Additionally, the European Union retaliated with tariffs on over $22 billion in U.S. goods, including soybeans and motorcycles, citing economic harm to both sides. We will be back after a short break. Till then, stay with us. This world continuously revolving around various events. Every minute, every second, something is happening somewhere around the globe, and you want to get connected to that event or to that specific moment. Here we come, Millennium News Hour, to get you connected with top USA and international trending news, which includes local news, political news, world news, business news, health and science related news, entertainment news, sports news, and so on. Millennium News 24 is transmitted and available to be watched free for OLED TVs such as Sony, Samsung, LG, Roku TV, Amazon TV, and Apple TV, and also in all European countries and Australia available with Sky Network, Worldwide Jago TV, Radiant IPTV, Worldwide Jago BD Network, and Horizon Satellite globally. Stay connected with Millennium News Hour to get the world news on your feed. Welcome back to Millennium News Hour. You are watching latest global updates. Prince Harry spent a second day at the UK Court of Appeal challenging a previous ruling that reduced his security detail in Britain. The Duke of Sussex is pushing for the reinstatement of his full British police protection after stepping down from his royal duties in 2020. Harry argues that private bodyguards who cannot carry firearms under British law are not enough to protect him and his family when they visit the UK. He claims that the government's decision to downgrade his protection was unfair and lacked proper expert consultation. Previously, Harry enjoyed full security as a working royal, but after leaving his official duties, his protection was scaled back. He lost a legal challenge in 2024 and is now appealing. Harry's lawyer argued that he was singled out and given inferior treatment. The British government defended the decision, stating that the revised security measures were tailored to Harry's changed circumstances. If Harry wins, he and his family may travel back to the UK more often. The court is expected to issue its decision in the coming weeks. The dismembered body of Italian biologist Alessandro Curti, 45 years old, was discovered in a suitcase on the outskirts of Santa Marta, Colombia on Sunday. Curti, who had been missing since Saturday, was reportedly staying in a local hostel when friends last heard from him. He had arrived in Colombia after traveling from the UK, where he had worked as a science policy officer at the Royal Society of Biology. Curti was conducting research on local animal species in the area and had planned to visit the nearby village of Minsa. Santa Marta's Mayor Carlos Pinedo Coelho announced a reward of over 11,000 for information leading to the arrest of those responsible for Curti's death. The mayor vowed that the crime would not go unpunished and promised to pursue the criminals until they were brought to justice. Santa Marta, a popular tourist destination, has faced significant crime challenges with 194 murders recorded in 2024. Let's have a look on today's sports stories. Brazil's women's football team claimed a 2-1 victory over the United States in a friendly match in San Jose, securing their first win over the US since 2014. The match was a response to Brazil's 2-0 loss to the US in Los Angeles on Saturday. The game saw a fast start as the US took the lead within the first minute. Alyssa Thompson's counter-attack set up Catarina Macario to score. Brazil equalized in the 24th minute with Caroline curling in a brilliant shot following a pass from Giovanna Queiroz. Despite missed chances late in the game, Brazil's Amanda Gutierrez scored in injury time, securing the win. The US coach Emma Hayes had made several changes to her squad, including a youthful lineup averaging 17.9 caps per player. With the victory, Brazil ended their 11-year winless streak against the US, who are 4-time World Cup champions. Yannick Sinner will return to the ATP Tour as the world number 1 at the Rome Masters next month, following Alexander Zverev's early exit from the Monte Carlo tournament. Sinner, who was banned for 3 months in February after failing 2 drug tests, will reclaim his top spot after Zverev lost to Matteo Berrettini in the second round of Monte Carlo. Zverev, the world number 2, struggled to regain form after his injury and failed to reach the quarterfinals in any tournament since the Australian Open. He was defeated 2-6, 6-3, 7-5 by Berrettini and admitted his performance had been poor, saying he played 10 levels down after a strong first set. Carlos Alcaraz, the defending French Open champion, also missed the chance to move to number 1. He began his Monte Carlo campaign later on Wednesday, facing Francisco Cerundolo. Sinner will return to action after his doping ban ends on May 4. We will be back after a short break. Till then, stay with us. This world continuously revolving around various events. Every minute, every second, something is happening somewhere around the globe, and you want to get connected to that event or to that specific moment. Here we come, Millennium News Hour, to get you connected with top USA and international trending news, which includes local news, political news, world news, business news, health and science-related news, entertainment news, sports news, and so on. Millennium News 24 is transmitted and available to be watched free for OLED TVs such as Sony, Samsung, LG, Roku TV, Amazon TV, and Apple TV, and also in all European countries and Australia available with Sky Network, Worldwide Jago TV, Radiant IPTV, Worldwide Jago BD Network, and Horizon Satellite globally. Stay connected with Millennium News Hour to get the world news on your feast. Welcome back to Millennium News Hour. Now it's time for business news. Today's New York stock close price is 18,398.48. The NYSE Composite is increased by 1,210.02 points or 7.04%. Tokyo stock close price is 31,714.03. The Nikkei 225 index is decreased by 1,298.55 points or 3.93%. Shanghai stock close price is 3,186.81. The Shanghai index is increased by 41.26 points or 1.31%. Hong Kong stock close price is 20,264.49. The Hang Seng index is increased by 136.81 points or 0.68%. Bombay stock close price is 73,847.15. The Sensex index is decreased by 379.93 points or 0.51%. Let's have a look on today's weather forecast. Before finishing today's news, let's hear out the headlines again. US President Trump sets 90-day pause on tariffs, boosts China rate to 125%. Trump officials announce social media monitoring for anti-Semitism in immigration process. Judge orders White House to restore AP's access to presidential events. Dan Driscoll appointed acting ATF director, replaces Kash Patel. Michelle Obama discusses divorce rumors and the power of self-choice. LeBron James makes history as first athlete to have a Ken doll. Governor Hochul announces 14 landmarks lit blue to raise awareness for child abuse prevention. China raises tariffs on US goods to 84% amid global trade tensions. Prince Harry faces UK government in court over security rights. Body of Italian biologist Alessandro Cotti found in suitcase in Colombia. Brazil women beat USA for first time in over a decade. And Yannick Sinner set to return as world #1 after Zverev's loss. That's all for today. Keep watching Millennium News Hour for latest news update. To stay updated, like our Facebook page, subscribe our YouTube channel and visit our websites. Our website addresses are www.millenniumnews24.com and www.millenniumtv24.com. Millennium News 24 is transmitted and available to be watched free for all smart TVs and Roku TV, Amazon TV, Apple TV, and also in all European countries and Australia, available with Sky Network, Worldwide Jadoo TV, Radiant IPTV, Worldwide Jago BD Network, and Horizon Satellite globally. Stay connected with us for all the latest news worldwide. Thank you.